What's up, everybody? Mr. Delario here to talk about two websites that you are going to need to get very close and familiar with in order to get submissions going. And those websites are the Poet and Writers site, as well as Submittable. So, Poets and Writers is a great place to find literary magazines, and Submittable is one of the most commonly used platforms for submissions. So, I'm going to show you real quick how to get into these today. So, if you head over to just pw.org, you get to the Poets and Writers site. There's a lot of really interesting stuff in here, so I would suggest that you jump around a little bit just to kind of see what they have to offer. But for the immediate need, you're going to click Publish Your Writing, hover over Literary Magazines, and click that. So that's going to take you into a filterable section here. So genre, pick whatever you've been working on this marking period. We'll just select poetry for now. Subgenre, I always leave this blank. So there's a lot of different subgenres, and my experience rather, has been that most literary magazines take most of them. So reading period, I would suggest open now. You can click opening soon, but I would go through opening now first. I would just do all. Okay, once you get down here, this stuff isn't necessarily required, but here's some things you want to look at. So formats, digital, print, audio, video. Print is great if you want to have the feeling of a magazine in your hand. So they'll send you a magazine if your work gets accepted, and it's just a really cool thing that you can hang on to forever. The only people that get to read it are the people who subscribe to that magazine. So your readership's going to be a little bit smaller, but it's something tangible that you can have forever. Digital is my personally preferred option, only because unless there's a paywall, which most literary magazines don't have, the digital option means that if your work gets published with them, you can share it on social media, which drives up the number of readers. So that's all up to you, though. I would just leave that open. Response time. This is another one. If you're dying to find out soon, you can click less than 3 months. Generally speaking, it normally takes around 6 to 9 months. So feel free to click in here if you want. Reading fee, I would say no. Once you're sort of a seasoned vet with the submission process, if you have a magazine that you absolutely love, yes, pay the reading fee. They're great. It supports the magazine. It helps them do what they want to do. But as for this class, which is really about practicing, I'm going to suggest that you say no for that one. Unsolicited submissions, you need them to be selected, because otherwise that means that the magazine would have to contact you first. And then payment, that's up to you. Most of the time you'll get a contributor copy if it's a print magazine. Rarely you'll get a cash royalty, but if you're looking to make some cash off of this, you could click that one. All right, then you hit filter. What you'll get here are a whole bunch of different magazines that are currently open and fit your needs. When you click one, it'll take you into sort of a breakdown of that journal. So here, one of the subgenres they publish is micropoetry. Here's some authors that you might recognize some of their names, and if you do, that gives you an idea of what this magazine is like. Charge the fee? No. Response time is less than 3 months. Yes, they take unsolicited submissions. They also take, the only thing is they don't take simultaneous submissions. So let's talk about that real quick. So a simultaneous submission means that I can send my poem to Acorn Magazine, but I can also send it to a bunch of other magazines at the same time. And it basically comes down to whoever says yes first. Now, if you accept simultaneous submissions, that means you can do that. The magazine doesn't accept simultaneous submissions. That means that you have to send them your work, and then you can't send those poems or stories to anybody else until they give you an answer, which can be a little frustrating. So generally speaking, I look for a yes there. But again, if you love the magazine, if it feels like a good fit for your stuff, feel free to submit anyway. And then here's some more facts about them. Editorial focus is normally an act of creative writing in it of itself, and so it very rarely tells you a whole lot. In this one, it is kind of helpful because it lets you know they're looking for haiku. From there, I always recommend checking out the website. We won't hit that today. Or if you want to go to their direct submission link, you can click that as well. So that's part one. Part two is how you submit. So if you go to submittable.com, it will take you to this homepage. It's going to make it look like you have to pay, but you don't actually have to. So you're going to click sign in. I already have an account, but if I didn't, I would click sign up. Then you can enter your information and hit sign up. Going in through this way is free, and it's going to set you into a platform that will let you manage all of your submissions. So let's jump in here and submit it in a while because I'm looking for. So here's what you get. I always like to show students this because it's kind of how this lit world works. Generally speaking, for every like 10 submissions you send, you'll eventually get one acceptance. And if you look at my track record, now I haven't done this in a while because I've been in book mode, but my track record prior to book mode kind of follows that. This is pretty statistically average. So keep in mind, once you get into this world, you're going to get declined a whole lot. Once you're in here, though, as you submit to magazines, it'll link them here. So when you go back here, let's say we're going to submit to Acorn. So they're going to ask you to just email them. But in another case, when you click that submission link, it would take you into here, where you would be able to fill out like a cover letter and attach the poems and then eventually hit submit. So that's how you get through the process. There'll be more info on this on this week's folder, so check it out, and I'm looking forward to see where you guys submit.